Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. The moment had come. Ethereum token authorized for exchange-traded fund status. Our victory in the cryptocurrency war will be the last word in the end. At this very moment, Bitcoin is visible. It's up little less than 1% for the day, which, in my opinion, demonstrates that the majority of the benefits that were anticipated from the announcement and launch hoopla have already been realized. How much real demand will there be for these things when trade begins tomorrow? Is it today? I believe it will be a game changer in the long term, and that many people will invest in Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETFs. Day one is the big question, and I don't have a clue. Tomorrow, when trading begins, we'll find out how much action they actually receive. Additionally, there will be a war here among the different issuers, as only one of them will win the majority of the market. As a result, there will likely be an advertising blitz to lure consumers into cryptocurrency. I think that's great. The irony is that today, in response to the announcement of the Bitcoin ETF, the altcoins that were already up slightly more than 10%, XRP, up 6%, Cardano, up 12.8%, and Polka, one of my favorites, are actually seeing even more gains. Increased by 15.8%. As you scroll down the list, you'll find that all of the coins are green and in good standing. A few of them were almost 10%. Salutations to every coin. I will cross it off the list if this continues. We managed to get one more thing done. The next step is ahead, and we'll watch how things unfold in the next 30 days or so as some of this fear of missing out subsides. To what extent is demand actually sustainable? In my opinion, that will be a fascinating show to watch. Would like to go over this narrative again. I feel like a lot of people have taken the wrong meaning out of what I said. According to the Ripple block, the firm is now worth $11 billion after launching a 285 million share repurchase program. To reiterate, I do not consider this to be an optimistic announcement. Some were trying to make it sound like this is a fantastic thing. To start, not long ago, Ripple repurchased Tetragon stock, which the firm was suing, and the purpose of the buyback was to eliminate the lawsuit. At the time, the company was valued at $15 billion. Thus, there is a slight reduction in the values. Very poor. Then we take a closer look, and we see that they intend to spend up to $500 million on buybacks, in addition to $285 million, according to this article. I observed that someone mentioned that they are in an MBA program, and that is my point. I see this as a positive development because it indicates that they have a substantial amount of capital available to repurchase shares. This is an established business that is unaffiliated with their wealth. In our ideal world, they would expand their payment and deal corridors, unload their payment clients, construct a liquidity center, and attract more users to their CBDC and tokenization platforms. Instead of repurchasing shares, that is what they should be doing with their money. We observed Coinbase doing a direct listing instead of going through an intermediary, which makes sense if they are reluctant to give up any additional shares in the company. The FIRM might have avoided issuing shares by taking advantage of the market liquidity provided by these early investors who preferred to CASH out. You don't have to go public if you want to do this, there are other options. The reason it matters to me is that it suggests their LDL business isn't as developed or profitable as we'd like it to be, which is why a direct listing could be a good way to address this issue without going into debt. And that has everything to do with XRP. And making payments using XRP. In my opinion, it's fine. What this tells us is that, as far as I can determine, it is related to US regulations. I still don't believe it. I think their company isn't quite prepared. It will require a bit more time. There's no need to panic. It's not that I don't think XRP will do well. I mean, Ripple is a cool startup, that's for sure. However, I believe that the company still has some room to expand before it is prepared for a direct listing or an initial public offering, IPO. The delay is unacceptable, and they should reward some of their early backers. Glad they had the means to pull it off. They're doing the right thing by those investors. Just so you know, I'm not trying to make a bullish case here. Perhaps some sort of setback, relative to what you know about that kind of stuff. What to anticipate from Bitcoin ETFs on day one? I have no idea what is ahead. I can already see they're eager to get a large number of users through here and into this market. After all, it took a decade to get approved after the first effort, so encrypting a bill can be a lengthy process. Please keep that in mind. But I recall the blockchain advocate friend of mine, he warned us to be wary of the laser eyes. Franklin Templeton, their adorable mascot, is also present. Now that the Bitcoin ETF is live, he can see with pinpoint accuracy. Is this the peak of we may need to speak with the man directly? I'm not sure. However, be cautious, for the laser eyes are fully operational. Sure thing. Considering Gensler's vote in favor of the Bitcoin ETF's approval by the SEC, I find this to be an intriguing development. Lastly, we have our trusty companion Pierce. Gensler betrayed the group and became what I call a crypto broke after 2 of his colleagues voted against its approval. And I'd like to add that during his tenure, we were able to see the Bitcoin ETF through to completion, and the law finally recognized XRP as a currency rather than a securities. I believe this decision will have far-reaching implications for many other cryptocurrencies and crypto initiatives. Also, there are these ongoing exchange instances where I believe we will learn a lot about what constitutes a security offering and what does not. I also disagree with his tactics because Congress will not pass new legislation. It's not that I would object to being replaced if he granted me the authority. I would immediately replace him. However, he has demonstrated progress, so we are making headway. It's a terrifying dictatorship. Dealing with all this bullshit is frustrating, but at least we're getting some answers. It's clear that Jay Clayton was even worse than Gary Gensler, who completely ignored the entire space. We're taking this case to court, and unlike his techniques, we're finally obtaining some solid answers to these inquiries. Things are looking up, though. Please LISG-LMR, I've been pleading with them for what seems like an eternity, so I figured I might as well put it out there. I'm delighted they finally featured Moonbeam token since it's a fantastic currency with long-term potential, and I'm having a good day with it, up 15% so far. I'm not suggesting you pile in, though, because whenever you see Kryptos going up much, it's hard to resist. Lastly, if you've been around for a while, you might be familiar with Oak, the Duckman. He disappeared for a while, but he's back now. If you want to keep up with him, follow Duckman Oak on Twitter. You know, he uploads vids here every day. I adore his perspectives on all matters. Also, I'd be thrilled if he revives his YouTube channel, it was fantastic. In the distant past. Among all the crypto channels, it was tops. Whatever you wanted him to talk about, he would. Sometimes folks just think they're above the rules. Anything can be discussed with him. If the matter is crucial, when he finds anything intriguing or when he hears that Twitter is being discussed, he isn't afraid to tackle controversial topics head-on. And while I'd love to see him return to YouTube, I'm glad we were able to get him back on Twitter. So, I'll provide a link below for you to follow him. In the comments, please share your thoughts. Subscribing and like is always appreciated. See you later, bye.